YouTube world, my name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic, and welcome back to another video for everybody. Today I am doing a top 5 list because today is the 4-year anniversary for Disney Plus. So that means today I'm going to stop and rank my top 5 favorite original films that are on Disney Plus. Let's go ahead and get started ranking them, shall we? So, when they first announced Cruella, I was like, wait, they're making a movie about Cruella de Vil? I'm like, okay, that's cool. It's a pretty cool. And then I'm like, oh, they're casting Emma Stone? I'm like, I don't know how you can really do that. Like, again, it's the younger version, but it's like, she just doesn't feel like Cruella at all. And then you watch the movie, and Emma Stone's performance is literally one of the best things about the movie. But even through that, they use the bad guys that were in the original 101 Dalmatians and find a clever way to make them interesting and fun characters, while at the same time bringing in other fun characters into the mix. This mother plotline that I thought was interesting, while also having her hatred for dogs as well, and just having this unique spin, especially with the soundtrack. And it was just such a unique experience for a different type of Disney remake. So I watched this movie about a couple months back in April, and mainly because when it first came out, I was like, I don't know, I'm not really into musicals, and I didn't really have a schedule to put when I first started YouTube in 2020, but I finally watched it, and I definitely could say Hamilton is a great film. I mean, the soundtrack is just absolutely fire, but through this, it's a recorded play, and you're able to learn with characters. You're able to learn through a story, and is able to teach you stuff about the past, and Alexander Hamilton, and what New York went through in the 1700s. And so there's just something so interesting about that I thought was so interesting. So, I love Hamilton, and it's great. This is a Disney Nature documentary film, and I absolutely fell in love with this movie. I love the way that this movie is shot, the way certain shots are done, and really just the way everything just plays out. It feels almost like every other Disney Nature film, but with this one, it's able to show you the stuff that elephants do. Have fun, have mud baths, and they can get eaten by predators, and they show that, and you get emotional, you feel happy, you feel excited, and that's what this Disney Nature film did, and that's probably why it's my favorite Disney Nature film of all time. So for me, it's definitely one of my favorites. So yeah, I loved Elephant. So this was actually one of the Pixar films that I saw on Disney Plus. Obviously, it's a Disney Plus original, and it took me a little while to actually really appreciate it, because when I first saw it, I was like, okay, this is actually really good, but it's not quite as great as I thought it would be. And then I rewatched it many times after, and I realized what was so special about the movie. It wasn't because this movie was from the creators of Inside Out, which was something I really loved. And one of the things I loved about Inside Out is that it was able to tell a story within the real world, but also tell a world inside Riley's head, and that world be interesting as well. It'd be just as interesting as the human world. And I wouldn't necessarily say that's what Soul did, but it's not really about exploring the new world. The movie is basically a story about life, and basically what it means to live. And I think that's why this movie worked so well for me, because it brought those emotions, and it has all these moments where it's like, you have the body swap, and they're trying to get back to where they need to go. and 22 is in the guy's body, and he's learning of how to live. He eats pizza for the first time. He dresses. He gets a haircut. He does all of this, and then he finally goes plays jazz, and he realizes, what is my purpose? Like, there is no there's no purpose. Sometimes you just gotta put the thing you really like aside, and you just gotta look at life. Because if you just stay focused on what you truly want, you're gonna miss everything. And that's something that, like, after you watch the movie, like, it makes you think, like, we should, like especially if we're out somewhere with someone, we should be like, yep, we should put our phones down and just take a break from that. We can go back at that another time. Makes you look at life a little bit differently. Anyway, not to get too dark, but yeah, number 2 is Soul. And easily, this is one of my favorite Disney movies in the last many years or so. What I really loved about this movie, first off, I actually didn't watch this when it came out on Disney Plus, when it was doing the premiere access. I actually watched it when it came out in theaters. So it was actually the first one I went to go see in theaters after a year of not going to the movies. And what's kind of crazy is the last movie I went to go see in the theater before this was Frozen 2. And I didn't see any movies in the theater in 2020 because by the time COVID happened, theaters were closed down, so I wasn't able to do anything, really. But as for this movie, I just loved what Disney was able to do with this story. It felt so massive, like Lion King. It introduced us to all these new and interesting characters with Raya and Sisu and all these wonderful and lovable characters, but at the same time, it crafted a story that has stakes. It's dark. It has some very cool action, and it has a great story about what it means to work together and come together and put aside your differences. And I love that. And the only issue I really have with it is I kind of wish I kind of wanted more, because it was just so good. So that's my thoughts. I love Raya and the Last Dragon. And honestly, it's my favorite film of 2023, of 2021, because it just meant so much to me, because I loved it so much. But yeah, that is it. That's my ranking of all of my top 5 favorite Disney Plus original movies. But how about you? Tell me down below, what are your favorites down below in the comment section. Did you guys love it? Actually, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All those social media stuff in the about section over there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.